Yeah, here we go. Another episode, and unfortunately, I've tried recording this episode twice, and I fell asleep in between. So yeah, so here's another episode, and in the previous episode, we ran into like an error, which I have successfully resolved. Spent about over 2 hours trying to fix it, only to end up downgrading the versions of Sinon Chai and Chai. Like, it was when we installed these two that we started experiencing that error. So, and it's simply because the latest version, I they use ESM module, or they are kind of ESM libraries, and uh, this this code base compiles to CommonJS. So basically, this code base doesn't support ESM libraries, if that makes sense. We could try to kind of update the TS config, like the configuration, which is typically what I do, but I kind of want to avoid making a number of changes, and so I just went with fixing only the things that are causing the issue for me, and which is these two. So I tried different things, basically, tried to see if I could get it done from a TS node, because Mocha used TS node to load the stuff like for the compilation process. So I tried to see if I could fix it from there, but it didn't work, and here we are. So currently it works, and you'd have noticed that those squiggly lines that shows up under these global functions before each and the likes, they no longer show up, and that was simply because I added test to the include fold, to the included. uh, so basically you specify a list of global patterns that matches files to be included in compilation. So basically I added test to the files that needs to be included in compilation before it was excluded, so I added it, and boom, that worked. Also, I created like this function which I kind of want to use to create mock the job data. So we'll be using it as we progress. And I also kind of created two, yeah, two of this basically. Like we have seen, I created these two variables just to hold what the stubs we created for the two methods that we are, stubbing. So here we go. I also had a stub for the queue events, because I actually noticed some interesting things when I ran the tests. Let me see if I could bring that up again. I was noticing I was getting this failed job or this, even if the tests, was successful, 5 passing, but I didn't like the fact that I was saying all these things. So it means some things were not mugged. So which was what I was trying to tackle. And I hope that makes sense. So I also added this. So the idea is I'm kind of monitoring that since I'm stopping everything, it means I need to ensure that. So basically, it's like as if I'm testing the internals this time, which is normally what I don't do, but just to show you how the stopping stuff works. So in this case, during once you are once this class is being initialized, we set up the queue, right? And then we set up the mailer internal service. So I try to monitor if this method was called with mailer to figure out if we're successful setting that up. And afterwards I try to see if it was also, this service was called with this. That is, in order to verify if the hook was actually being called. So I've not even tested the new stuff I added here, but I've tested what we have before. So yeah, so let's try to run this again just to make sure that no error comes in. You might have noticed that I introduced this EJS. I imported this EJS EJS library. I imported the library, and basically what I was doing was I was trying to stop the render file method, so that it's not going to kind of attempt to render anything. So you're just going to resolve to welcome to the are. If that makes sense. So yeah, there's one thing that we can't exactly. Okay, you should be able to catch it, hopefully, and uh, we only stopped this and this, meaning the actual queue itself will still get initialized, meaning uh, it will attempt to kind of start a Redis connection, and because we are using mock um, credentials, it's going to fail. So it's still the issue will still face in terms of that Redis connection stuff. We'll still be facing that issue for now. See, I figure out another way to go about that. But yeah, so let's run this. So little by little, our test suite is coming along. So we have 6 tests passing, meaning these things are kind of functioning as expected. And let's see. So the Korea.class.service, I guess we are having 51% statements tested, 15% branch tested, 33% function tested, well, expected anyway. So yeah, I'll be monitoring this. Hopefully, as we add more tests, the coverage keeps increasing. I don't really care that much about coverage, but at least it does help to capture what you might maybe things you might have forgotten to test. So let me even see. I think I normally like to look at the structure of what I'm trying to test for. All these errors won't make me enjoy looking at that. So we have the starting point, which is Korea service initializes. Okay, I think I'm going to change something now. So I want to kind of use a particular So we have Korea service. Then this is another test suite, but nested inside the other one. So inside this, I'm going to say so stage 1 initialization. So yeah, just simply for the purpose of maintaining a certain stuff like that. I think I'll remove that stage 1. I don't like it. Well, let's see what that looks like now. I think there should be a way to kind of silence the outputs, like all these kind of outputs while testing. I don't know if you know, you can maybe write it in the comment section. But yeah, I feel there should be a way to do so that the tests, like the messages from the actual test stuff should look more clean, if that makes sense. Just that if I silence it's probably probably going to affect me whenever I come across an actual error. So let me see what we have. So we have this service name, courier service. Then we have stage 1, this. Okay, so instead of saying stage 1, you're just going to say so here we go. Set up mail service with the correct configuration. Wait. I've not really set up mail service with the correct. Okay, at least actually, yeah, sort of. So this looks like overkill or something. Well, doesn't matter. So yeah, let me leave it at that. So I'm going to add another one. Describe. Give me a moment. I'm going to pause the video for a while. I want to quickly attend to something. Okay, I'm back. So for some reasons I still don't like this. Give me a moment. Okay, so I'll use it that way. So now, first thing we can check is if it successfully creates a single email job. Is very important because what if we check if it creates a job and then it creates more than one job, right? Actually, to be candid, I think it ought to support that. Let me see. I think I even created that. Yeah, it supports multiple jobs. So if you send an array of maybe job data, it's going to kind of pass them like one by one, basically. So there's this kind of recursion going here, sort of. Doesn't look like recursion, but yeah, sort of. So it's calling like itself over and over again, but not on the same data, like for different data in a loop. So in that case, I think we can start with testing for single job, and then we can expand on that. So for the meantime, we want to kind of create like a mock data, which so, and then we want to get like the result. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not as if I don't like using Copilot, just that right now I need to think and it's disturbing my thought process. So then since we've gotten the results, we can check the queue first. That is that queue add stop that we do. We can check if it has been called once. So if it has been called once, that's going to be fine. Because the thing is, once you create this, we're expecting it to call this queue once. So we can check if it's called once to figure out if we're on the right track, and then we can move on to check. Okay. Now for each of these results, do we have? I was actually planning to use to have then property ID and stuff, but since I just saw something interesting, let me see if I can use that. Include. I'm just going to follow this. Let's see. Okay. So I think this is going to do like a deep comparison or something. So hopefully that actually it kind of covers all what I would have written. I would have written 3 lines right now. Actually, I would have checked if it has an ID, right? Like if it has an ID property. I would have also checked if the status is waiting. So I would have done something like to.to.have.property status waiting .to.have.property ID comma results.id and stuff. And then before I would now have checked maybe .to.include. So I would have done this separately, but this is cool. So let's see if this works. Sometimes I do which test runs faster than blink of eye, than the blink of eye. But truth is, whether I like it or not, as this test the test suite increases, the more time it's going to take. I'm going to kind of try to find a way to make it faster by figuring out how to what's it called, how to sort of okay, how to sort of kind of lost in my train of thought anyway. So how to sort of stop this stuff from showing up. So we get one error which complains that it's expected this to have the property to air. Maybe I praise this stuff too early. For now, I don't even want to try to figure. Let me just go back to my normal default. My normal default listen. So for this one, I can add. So like you can pass name and then what value you are expecting. In this case, waiting, because we set that to. Okay. Oh, I think I might know what the issue may be. I know what the issue may be. It's possible that what we are expecting as maybe we're expecting waiting, but then it's returned back completed, and then meaning that the object is no longer equal. So let me see something. So how do I figure this out? So if I say, the thing is I can't actually predict. If I do completed, there may be a scenario where it becomes waiting. Maybe they are already like. I just want to kind of ensure that doesn't happen. So how do I kind of dynamically figure out what it's meant to be? So first of all, let's see if that's the issue. If it's not completed, maybe it's even active. Normally, if it's active, it means currently that job is what is the worker is working on at that point. If it's waiting, it means the worker is yet to pick it up. If it's completed, it means the worker is done with it. We can kind of move further than that. I think there are more statuses than that actually. So you can find more. Like I think we have it. Yes. We also have field expected. So normally the ones we are listening for is just this is the four I really care about. I think there are others too, but I don't really care about them. So status of completed but got waiting. Jeez. Basically, so waiting was actually the correct thing. So what was the error that it was returning before? Seemed that weird. So that's probably not the issue. Hopefully one day in the future, we'll get to a point where I can just write code, no matter how complex, and to just run successfully without problem. I know that is like a dying man wish, but I really wish so. Okay, now we go back to the previous error, which says something like mm. At this point, I think I'm not really interested in worrying myself anymore. So let's see. For this case scenario, we don't really need this, so I can remove that. Oh, wait. Oh, so it's expected that you must pass something as data. Interesting. So let me go back to oops. So we can check if it includes data. I think for some reason I'm going to put this off. I just want to know if it has that property for now, because I feel that could also be another stuff. Yeah, that's actually the issue. So the time we use that deep, we had to kind of set what the ID should be, and the ID we set it to be like we set it to be the results dot wait we actually set it to be results dot id, which is weird because it's results we are looking at. So why do we set it to be result dot id? So yeah, and the interesting part is we actually resolve this to return back this. So meaning typically data is actually going to be empty because we've stopped this, and this is what returns the job that we now kind of use to generate the response we use. So meaning we can say status is waiting, that shouldn't be bad. Yeah, status is waiting, that should work. ID should still work. But the data, in this case, data is this. But in that case, the data is empty. So we just have to check if it includes data. Like, actually that would be bad, but I think I would just instead check the property. Just make sure there's a property called data. So I think I'm missing something. Oops. To have property data. Because we've stopped data to be, empty, and then the actual mock data is not empty, so it's going to fail. That's why that deep stuff fails. So we didn't even get back something that has data. So I think at this point I'm just going to console log. There's a high chance we'll get back anything, but let's see. And I'm already becoming tired of this rerunning of stuff. Maybe I should just watch the test, because I think it's actually possible to just watch the test, so that it recompiles automatically if there is any issue. So while that's going on, let me just quickly check something. Is there a way I can stop this? So let me go up here. What I want to stop right now is the connection. No, in fact, a way to kind of stop this thing so that it doesn't get called at all. We don't get anything from the queue. We don't get, because currently it seems it's actually initializing. It's initializing an actual queue, which is sort of problematic to us. So I'm just going to attempt to do something. It shouldn't really return anything. also, oh no, I think that's the wrong worker we are looking at. See how syntax alight and help me detect that quickly. So I'm coming, let me check this. Of course I did I did not expect to see this stuff consoled. So it wasn't really consoled. And it's not like as if it matters to me. I can just remove these parts. What we are interested in is to see if it has an ID and if it's, if the status is set to waiting. We just want to make sure this is called and whatever is associated to it. Like, so you might be like, but this is not the actual data we'll be getting back. But yeah, we've stopped it, so it means we have control over what we'll be getting back. So we know that in as much as this is called, this should be given back to us. So that's the idea. So it means that I could even remove this completely and it won't really matter. But just to confirm that that's what we are getting back is what we have configured the whole thing to be. That's why we are doing that. So yeah, I was expecting this. Attempted to wrap add, which is already wrapped, and simply coming from here because we've just stopped this thing. It means that whatever you want to do. So for example, add everything, they've been stopped. It's not going to be. You won't really get any of what you want to get before and stuff like that. So in that case, we can comment this out for the meantime just to see if this works. The weird part is now we don't. Damn, so I have to kind of keep track of this thing. Oh gosh, sometimes I just hate coding. VS Code is not acting right now, so it's slowing down. Normally thought VS Code slows down because of much files, but currently the files we have is not much at all. So what is wrong with the guy? Is there an extension that is too heavy or something? Probably I need to kind of remove some. Maybe I'll just remove all the extensions and just attempt to install only the ones I need, because it seems VS Code is becoming bloated on my system. So we can test again. attempting to wrap on which is already wrapped. Oh, this guy. In fact, there's a mistake. It wasn't even queue. I wanted to stop the on stuff. It was worker. But then I need to comment it out. You know. So you still get error, right? Coming from line 89. '89 was where we initialize. Wait, come to think of it, did I ever use access stuff here? Because I doubt I did. Yeah, can't remember using it, so there was no need to have mocked this. But I think I actually have a reason for mocking it before, but I don't really care anymore. So why am I getting this? I'm getting an error that says then, that you can't call then, you can't call property of undefined reading then. So okay, in that regard, I'm just going to return everything back to okay. So here we go. After we tested this one more time, hopefully it works, and we can call it the end of an episode. Oh, my bad. So yeah, now we have 7 tests passing, and so I think it's time to commit what we've done. So So in the next episode, we will pick up from there and try to continue with, trying to see if we can test for multiple jobs creation. Like that is, multiple email jobs should be created in a batch. So you can send multiple email jobs to the create method, and then have them being created like in a batch. So yeah, we'll look at that in the next one. Peace.